Look, Reggie Wright Jr. said Snoop Dogg would still be braiding hair in prison and getting his hair braided, sitting between people's legs, getting his hair braided and doing some braiding, if it wasn't for Suge Knight.
You the one that got Tupac over here. We this and this. And when they were talking with him and LT Hutton and all of them were on the phone call. And because he was trying to get something from Snoop at the time. But, man, Suge's a motherfucking liar. If I'm keeping it real, Suge is out there mad at Snoop for whatever reason. You get mad at Snoop for he's trying to rewrite history like a motherfucker. But do you accuse a person of being involved in a murder because they bought your company? Who else would you want from it? If you're not in a position, or one of your family members not in a position to buy the company, then who else would you want to own the company other than Snoop? Should be, or Dre. Should be, in my opinion. Dre walked away from it, so Dre shouldn't have any rights. I believe Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre are the ones that own the company currently and using Snoop as a front man, but that's just an opinion. And opinion is like what? An asshole. We all got them, right? Don't know that as to be factual. But I know that wasn't your question, Cam. I know your question was, why is Suge accusing Snoop Dogg of murder? Cam, I'm here to tell you, I know everybody accused Reggie Wright of being involved in Tupac's murder and all of that, which is bullshit. All right? But Snoop has just as much, or had just as much to do to a murder of Tupac as Reggie Wright did. 0%. And for people that believe in that, and for Suge to keep pushing that narrative, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But, hey, those who don't believe the Keefe D stories and what Keefe D been preaching, then I'm sorry. But there's only two people that's still alive that had something to do with the murder of Tupac Shakur. Two people. Diddy, possibly, and Keefe D. The other three people are no longer with us.
Look, it was over for Snoop. If Suge wouldn't have did so much for that boy would have rotted in prison. Everybody know, fam. Everybody know. He was way more guilty than he let on. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real, bro. Suge put everything into getting Snoop Dogg out of jail. What did he do when he get out? Didn't show his loyalty. He left Death Row saying it was something about the money, bro. Look, bro, how could it be so you wouldn't have nothing if he would have left you in jail, bro? You would have nothing, my nigga. Just hearing Reggie Wright finally start telling people how Snoop is, bro, how he did Harry O, how he do everybody, bro. He's a character. He's a character. He's gonna use you until he can't use you no more. You know what I mean? He real shit. That's Snoop. Snoop has always been a fucking snake. Wasn't allowed in L.A. because he was up there fucking with Diddy. Real shit. That was his brothers. Wasn't allowed in L.A. Went to New Orleans with Master P. Still wasn't allowed in L.A. Master P took him back to L.A. Wouldn't even come out the green room, bro. That's what Snoop is, a high-powered coward. But I like him, though. Yeah, I be talking shit about Snoop Dogg, but I like him. How can I not like him, bro? He's entertaining. He's an entertainer, you know what I mean? You just got to learn to separate the man from the entertainer, you know what I mean? That man has all type of skeletons in his motherfucking closet, fam. I'm just keeping it a buck. Yeah, I'm just keeping it a buck. This ain't about hating on Snoop. Ain't about hating on him. But when I see him, bro, 55 years old, 57 years old, still got the Crip sneakers on, Crip sandals, blue flags. Like, bro, what do they do to that? You ain't that real, bro. At one point, they were looking to DP your ass, bro. if the information is true and you was really setting up Crips back in the day with Suge Knight, 55, 57, yeah, to still get a DP. You know what I mean? Look, bro, everybody that rocking for Snoop, cutting for him, man, that man's a Crip. You know what I mean? So if you don't know what that means, it ain't nothing like Crip business. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro, this is Crip business. That's Crip business. He ain't loyal to nothing but that motherfucking flag. He's not even loyal to his fucking wife. You know what I mean? He done her so dirty for years. And I'm usually not the one to speak on a nigga relationship, but I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. If you can't be good to the woman you lay down with every night, who can you be expected to be good to? Nobody. Yeah, nobody can trust you farther than they can throw your little skinny ass. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Nigga, shout out Reggie Wright Jr., but he's hiding more than he let on too. Yeah, you had something to do with a lot more than you say too. Honestly, we don't know who did Tupac. You know, we don't know who did that. But if the case was ironclad against Keefy D, he'd be already convicted. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. It's 20 some odd years later, bro. You don't know what went down. Allegedly, they say Diddy did Biggie, and he did. They say he did Biggie and he did Pop. They say the dealer was a motherfucker in the 90s. Suge ain't had nothing to do with that. Yeah, Suge ain't had nothing to do with that. If we just being honest, if Suge had stayed in the game, and when the West Coast, East Coast beef had died down, and Biggie was still alive, Biggie would have fucked with him. You know what I mean? Yeah, Biggie would have fucked with Suge just to piss Diddy off. Bet you never seen that coming. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Yeah, I see this shit for what it is. Drop it in the comments. Scars from the playground. I can't shout out Reggie Wright and I can't shout out Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? That's just how I am, man. I can't shout him out. Yeah, like I said, Snoop cool, Reggie Wright cool. As far as I know, my nigga, I just see little videos of him, like everybody else. Other than that, man, you gotta separate that man from the entertainer and understand that Snoop has always been a fucking sucker. Same nigga, look, the same way he was running from Jody and Peanut and Baby Boy is the way he ran from Tupac and many others. Drop it in the comments, man. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Scars from the playground, man. Like, share, subscribe, nigga.
If they throw it, I'ma catch it to play the game like Tetris. I'm one of a kind rap. People tell me I'm a clip. I've been working 24 hours, summertime to winter. I ain't really at the chill, it gotta be about business.